Hey, Justin.
Hello.
So we noticed that in the third quarter, you added a little bit of a splint to the finger. Was that anything that happened, or just Brandon said it might have just been for a little bit more protection?
Yeah, I think it was just during a play. Kind of banged it a little bit. So it's just to add the cast back on and just make sure it was safe.
You think you'll roll with that moving forward, or sort of figure it out game by game?
I would probably imagine we'll do the same thing, maybe the lighter version. Nothing too crazy, but just to have something on there to be safe.
And so is it something like did you bang it up at all? Like was there some pain like after it got hit, and that's why you sort of went with?
Yeah, I think on whatever play, I think it might have been the scramble. At some point it got hit. Didn't feel too good, so we added the cast back on just to give it something to protect it in the game.
And how's it feeling now?
It feels much better. The mobility's been good. I used to just did my best to take care of it over the past couple of days, but it has gotten better.
Is it just until the season's over, you're going to have some degree of pain or?
Yeah, it was trending in the right direction. I think it's just time is the biggest thing for injuries like that. So, over the next couple of weeks, as long as it stays out of harm's way, and we do a good job of taking care of it, and especially going to the treatment room and doing all the things that we can, I think it can get a lot better.
As far as the scrambling, 73 yards on Sunday, I think it's the second most in your career. Going into that game, did you have a sense that there would be opportunities to do that, or was it sort of how the game progressed?
It was just kind of one of those things that you take what you can get, and you go through your reads, and you realize that, hey, the defenses did a good job of covering them, and whether it's pressure or whether it's just an open lane, you just take off and go get a couple yards and hope for the best and maybe go get a first down. And, I thought the offensive line did a great job protecting me and keeping those lanes open so that if things were covered downfield, I could be able to take off and get some yards.
Just saw a little bit of fire from you. You spiked the ball to that one. Is that just your heat of the moment, frustration? I mean, I just kind of sense that's probably what was happening there.
Yeah. Football's an emotional game. It got the best of me, and I apologize to Will. I apologize to the O-line for that outburst of frustration. But I got to do a better job of getting the call in earlier, go through our reads, and whether I am killing a play or whether I'm keeping it up, we just have to have a faster pace of play there.
We've seen a few games these last 2 minutes of game situations you've been in haven't gone real well in like 3 games now. Just for you personally, a lot of people will, that's a moment for a quarterback to really make a name for himself in the league. How difficult has it been for you to not be able to come through in some of those situations just as an offense, and then just personally how it might reflect on you?
Yeah, I think as a team it's always tough to let the defense down like that. When we get those opportunities as an offense, we'd love to go out there and we'd love to go make those plays and go score and do something special for our team. And as a quarterback, I'd love to do that as well. It's really tough. Like you said, we haven't been that way. We haven't done what we would like to do out there. So it's tough for us, but, the only thing that we can focus on now is the next one. And we're not going to let these past ones, affect our next performance. And 2 minutes is one of those things that we practice all the time in camp and in practice, and we emphasize it all the time. So we know that we got the right guys out there, we got the right scheme, just about executing, and we can do that.
What prompted that when you were talking to Will in that moment? Was it just the timing of the game, or did something happen prior? Like what prompted the moment of frustration in that moment? Was it?
Sorry, could you repeat that question?
What prompted that scene, like where you slammed the ball, and was it?
The delay game.
So just going back to the 2 minute for a second. In those situations when you guys have been within one score, less than 3 minutes remaining, you've been sacked 5 times, most in the league. So do you see a trend at all in terms of the protection late in games? Obviously, like there's a facet of it where it's known pass. The pass rushers are able to get off the ball, like they know you're going to be throwing it. Anything schematically, trend-wise, that you can sort of point to in terms of protection, where you guys might be able to improve to avoid, taking sacks in those situations?
No, to be honest, I think the offensive line, they've done a great job protecting me. That's on me to get the ball out quicker. It's on me to flip the protection. It's on me to figure that out, and I haven't done that. And so I can do a better job as a quarterback of getting the ball out, finding our quicks, finding our hots, especially if they are bringing pressure, having those quick answers that we've been able to do before. I know that we got the right guys out there. We got the right scheme. It's about executing, and that's on us as an offense to correct those problems.
Just to follow up on what I was asking before, I meant why have you not reacted that way in moments like that before? Was it the time of the game? Was it how close the game was, the moment in the season? That's what I was asking. Was there a reason?
I think that was the first time I've gone through something like that. So,
like the time of the game, or what do you mean when you say the first time you've gone through something like that?
That was just the first experience that I've had with that.
Yeah, I was saying, why was it the first one? Like, why have you not reacted that way in other situations? Was there a reason why?
I'm not sure. I'm sorry, I don't really understand your question.
Yeah, maybe I'm not explaining it well. I was just saying, like, you've never had an outburst like that in a game, right?
No, I've showed some emotion out there in the game.
Like, okay, so yelling at your center like that, I hadn't seen before. I'm just asking, was it a situation like the game being close or moment in the season? Was it anything like that prompted the frustration, or?
I think football's just an emotional game.
Gotcha.
Justin, is that definitely, like, from your perspective, is that definitely a negative thing, or is there some positive in maybe not reacting like that, but showing emotion and getting after guys when things aren't going the way that you want them to, when you have mistakes like that you feel like are controllable, to be that type of player on the field?
Yeah, I think there can be good things about it. Obviously, I apologize to Will, and I never meant to put him in that position, but I feel like with our offense, everyone's comfortable with each other, and we can talk to each other in a way that if something's not the way we want to, I know that anyone can come up to me and talk to me and say, hey, this is the way I want things, or this is the way it should be. And having that ability to talk with your teammates like that, I think that helps your offense, and I think it helps your team. And I know the offensive line, they're going to give me a hard time here and there, but I did it for the best of the team, and I'd love to have that back and be able to control that a little bit better. But I think it's important to speak up, and especially when something's on your mind like that.
And then just with Quentin, obviously, big drop at the end there. Are you the type of person where you feel like you have to have a conversation with him about that, to lift up his confidence, to make sure that you're still, he knows that you're still going to go back to him? Sort of, how do you, as a quarterback, as a leader, how do you approach sort of that situation when he's obviously had that drop and then he had a drop in the previous game? So how do you sort of approach that as a quarterback?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think Q's a fantastic receiver, and he's got all the confidence in the world. So what? I could have gave him a better ball. That's on me as a quarterback to be able to deliver a ball that he's able to run with, catch over the shoulder, and continue moving on. So it's not on him. It's on me too. And it's on us as an offense to be able to execute in that position where he's not having to be put in that position. We completed a bunch of passes today to him. He made some spectacular plays, and that's the way things are going to be. He's going to come up, show up on Sunday, and he's going to make plays. And he's not going to let this last one affect his next one, because if he does that, he's not the player that I think he is. And he's done a great job of handling all this, and I think very highly of him as an athlete, as a competitor. I know he'll be ready for Sunday.
When you get a chance, do you make it a point to go right back to a guy after a drop?
I think depending on the situation in the game, if there is a opportunity to go back to a guy and kind of get him, rolling, I think that's definitely a possibility. But I think he's done such a great job being confident and being that guy that, I know this is not going to affect him.
What sticks out to you about the Ravens defense?
They're very good. They're really well coached, and they've got some really great guys on that side of the ball. They're flying around. They're doing a good job forcing turnovers, getting after the passer.